Well, glory to God. Welcome once again to Power of Faith. I'm Pastor Philip Durr with your Family of Faith Victory Church right here in the capital city of Frankfort, Kentucky. And just delighted to be able to share with you the truths of God's Word once again. Luke 1:37 says, "For with God nothing shall be impossible." And that is good news in the time we're living in. And I want to welcome you to a special edition of Power of Faith. Yes, this is testimony session time. And I have in the studio here Adam and Jenny Boggs. Adam, welcome to the studio.
Thanks for having us.
Jenny,
Thank you.
we're going to have a good time.
Yeah,
You ready to
yes.
bust the devil in his mouth,
Let's do it.
knock his teeth out?
Right.
Well, the testimony of Jesus is a spirit of prophecy. And out of all the testimonies that we've done so far, I was thinking about you all. I've known you guys. We grew up in the same town, and hung out at the same places and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Since, let's see, I've probably known Jenny since I was 14, about that time. And Adam, I guess I met you when I was probably 16, 17, right?
Yeah.
And so we all grew up in that same neck of the woods. And I want you to, starting with you, Jenny, what kind of family was you raised in?
Well, my mom and them didn't, they didn't go to church or nothing, but they was good, giving us what we need and stuff, and but they wasn't like the love like you would see other people how they love their children.
Mm-hmm.
But they would give us anything we want, and we would just do, we would watch TV with my dad and them. We'd go outside or something
Play
together
games.
and do games and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We would do all that.
Brothers and sisters?
I had 8 sisters and 2 stepsisters, so there was 10 girls.
I saw that whole tribe too. Okay. What was school like for you?
Well, when I went to school, started first grade. I was in regular class and everything, but from that on, I was like slow in reading and different stuff, so they put me in special ed.
Jenny in special ed.
Yeah, that's what they called it.
See, Jenny, I've known you, like I said, since I was 14 or so. You were never special ed, but they classified you that way.
And they put you in the classes where just like probably 10, 15 kids.
Yeah, right. And you went through school?
All the way through high school. They didn't do like in senior year, I had to go do biology and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a lot harder because I never done that before.
Mm-hmm. Didn't have no previous training with it.
No.
Well, the thing that I knew that from the time we talked before, and it just like Mama Alberta said, it irked the fire out of me when I heard that, because I know my mom raised special ed children, and you were never that, but they classified you that.
Yeah.
Did it make you feel stupid or anything like that?
I always felt like I was sad inside, didn't know really why, and other people would be out, like my sister, younger sister, she'd be in regular classes and everything. And I would always ask my mom, why can't I be with her? Why can't I go there? And she said, this is where you're at. They never did try to fight it and say, hey, why is she in this or what?
Mm-hmm.
So
you graduated high school?
I graduated high school.
So in growing up there in Wilmore,
yeah,
the holy city.
Oh, yeah, that's
right?
what they always called it.
All right. But are you going to church any or anything like that?
We started going to church when we was little girl. When I was a little girl, my mom and them always sent us to church, but they didn't go.
Okay.
And then I went off and on till I was probably about 13.
Okay.
And
On your own or just with your sisters? Or?
with my sisters and my cousins, we would
Okay.
go.
So you heard about Jesus.
Well, it's really was about like God,
Okay.
but I didn't hear Jesus
Okay.
till later on
Okay.
in my life.
Okay. Okay. All right, Adam.
Yep.
What kind of family was you raised in?
Blue collar, working class,
Mhm.
family. Dad worked, mom worked. We had babysitters from time to time when my sisters weren't watching us when we were kids. That kind of.
So you had sisters.
Yep, 4 sisters, 2 older and 3 older and 1 younger.
Okay.
Yeah.
So no church.
Maybe a couple times a church bus would come around and pick us up. I remember a couple times. I don't know how old I was, probably 5 or 6, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But that's probably about it. I would, as far as I
Now, how old was you when you moved to Kentucky?
I was 4 years old when we moved to Kentucky and from California, and we moved to Cardinal Valley, and then we moved into Idle Hour.
Mm-hmm. So, what was school like?
School was Breckenridge Elementary. It was good, and it's just a typical elementary school. We could walk to it from our house. It was a couple blocks away in the neighborhood. Friendly school. Yeah.
But where was God in the picture?
God, we didn't know much about God.
Mhm,
Yeah,
mhm.
Although my mom was a preacher's kid, she married my dad at a young age, and they moved away from their family. So, and she never really talked about it much.
So your mom her dad was a preacher.
Her dad, yeah, Albert Venerable, Pentecostal preacher. We go see him a lot. Never did go see him at church. He was a guitar picker and a banjo player and a preacher.
Wow.
And Mom never really, once she got married and had all of us kids, she never really,
Said anything about it?
not much. I don't think she was. She was always mindful of it, I think, but she never did push it. And it probably had a little bit to do with my dad, even though he would never say not talk about it. But they just didn't go there.
Mm-hmm. So you moved down to Glass Mill, right?
Yep.
And how's school going on down there?
Well, I moved from the middle of the year in the 7th grade from Lexington to Jessamine County. And that was a big kind of a cultural shock, even though they're that close. It was more city type in Lexington. And of course, it was rural country for us in Jessamine County. So that was a big difference. Yeah, it was tough to, new people and everything like that.
So did you like school?
I liked it a little bit, but I didn't excel in it too much. Had a lot of other things, going on, it seemed like.
Did you graduate?
Didn't graduate. Left school in the 10th grade. Yep.
To do what?
To work. Big mistake. It's okay though. Yeah, so I dropped out 10th grade. Mom didn't want me to. Dad didn't want me to, but he didn't push it as hard as he could have. So I went to work with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So do you all know each other in any of this time frame?
School? Yeah.
From school?
Yeah. We rode the bus together
Okay.
Yeah.
since
Okay.
7th grade when he moved here.
So did you talk or anything?
A little bit.
Hi and
Yeah, that. But his youngest sister introduced us.
okay.
Yeah, she was friends with Susan
Yeah.
first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you graduate high school. What are you going to do after you get out of high school?
Well, probably work, but I didn't have my license. And I didn't get them till later on, years. But me and Adam started talking my senior year.
Okay, so you started seeing each other
Uh-huh.
in your senior year.
Yeah.
All right. So, when do you all get married?
A year later.
So, as soon as you graduate, right?
Yeah.
You guys get married.
That's right.
Yeah, a year later.
Okay. So, where's God in all this?
He's
He wasn't there.
he's in the form of a Baptist preacher from Nicholasville. He married us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you get married, and you're working with your dad painting,
Right.
right? And Jenny, what are you doing?
I was at the house, just at the house cleaning and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but then I got babysitting jobs.
Okay.
and work.
Okay. And when does the baby come along?
It was a year later, but when we first got married, we had a miscarriage.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I didn't. This is the first time I've heard that.
Yeah.
What did that do to you?
It messed me up.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
It was like I was lost inside.
Mm-hmm. Did you get angry at God or even?
Yeah, and then I remember just being just sad and just quiet,
Would you
Like-
call it depressed?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So at this point, I'm out of the scene then, because I wasn't
Mhm.
around when y'all got married, right? Right. I was already in the Air Force.
Yeah.
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 Right.
Yep.
So, we grew up together. Down, your dad had the pool hall, and it was the hangout, and so I come back from the Air Force and working in the Marshall Islands, and I can remember calling you from overseas, and
Yeah.
and I guess the phone that you had, it rang into your mom and dad's
Yeah.
house,
Yep.
and you have to go get you or something, right?
Yeah, that's right. I think he told me you had called, or maybe you called back. I'm not sure exactly how that went, or maybe you called and he went and got me. I was there. I don't know if you remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Was I there?
Mhm.
He had to get me. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember the phone call. Yeah.
Yeah, and at the time, I'm a heathen, you a heathen, but we always had pretended to play guitars
Right.
in the pool hall.
Yep.
Me and you'd put on a show.
Oh yeah.
With
It was,
pool sticks.
We were the house band.
Yeah, we were, and all you had to do is put the quarter in,
That's
hit
right.
J5. Here we go.
Yeah.
Right. So I was calling you about guitar
Right.
and told you I want to start a band.
Yep.
Remember that?
Yep.
And
Sure
so apparently you'd gotten a guitar,
Yeah. Started playing.
Mhm.
I don't know how many years, maybe a couple of years earlier or something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, Adam, when did the alcohol come in?
Back to Lexington in grade school when we lived in the Idlehour. My dad, who thought it was cute at the time, and he would come home and say, "Hey," to me or my sister, and say, "First one to get me a beer can have the first sip."
Mm.
So we'd run to the refrigerator and grab whatever he was drinking, and he'd take it to him, and he'd give us the first sip. So that was my introduction to it.
How old was you? 12?
I was in fifth grade, maybe, whatever how age that is.
Probably about 10, 11.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
So-
sixth grade. Yeah, it was grade school for sure. But that wasn't all the time. But
Mhm.
it happened.
So when did you start drinking?
Probably more when we moved into Jessamine County, I would say, and then when we-
Because I know when I met you, you was drinking.
yeah, so that was probably a lot more often then. That was I would be taking beer out of the refrigerator, and then after I dropped out of school and went to work, Dad would always stop on the way home and get a 12-pack of beer, and it wasn't long before I was drinking with him.
Mm-hmm.
we were
So-
working, you know.
So, what age do you think Adam became an alcoholic?
I'd say by 18.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That'd be my guess too.
Yeah, because it was an everyday thing
Mm-hmm.
then,
Mhm.
from then on. So, yeah.
Okay. So, Jenny, you marry an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Does alcohol become a problem? Or is this just the way it is?
No, because I drank too.
Yeah, okay. So now we got both of you are married, had a miscarriage, both of you are drinking. What's the future look like for the Boggs? Where's this life
Yeah,
going?
Thinking back, we didn't have any direction, period,
Mm-mm.
for any of our, of our future.
Mhm.
We didn't have any. We lived, we lived at my parents for a little while. That didn't work out. We moved into her parents, and that worked out better. And I did get a little direction there, but it was never any. We never had any goals.
Peace.
No peace. Yeah, no big goals set. We just worked, and we just wanted our own place
Yeah.
at that point in time.
Well, I come back from the Marshall Islands, and we're gonna start this rock and roll band, right?
Right.
And you were all up in it, and it was like a dream come true that me and you are reunited, and after all those years,
Yeah.
after a common goal, and there wasn't a doubt in my mind, Adam, that we were going to take off and go somewhere.
Right.
And we practiced pretty much every day, every night. And you get off work, and as soon as you got off work, you shoot over to the house, and
Yeah.
And I was trying to kick alcohol, and
That's
so
right.
I was drinking those non-alcohol beers, but I was doing a bunch of cocaine and Valium that nobody knew about.
I didn't know about it.
Yeah. So I'd get a drunk feeling.
Right.
And I remember the night we were going to record, and we had the big TIAC reel to reel. And man, we had the whole band. We brought this drummer in, Rex. Remember Rex?
Yeah.
And Tim James was playing the bass, and it was me, you, and Alvin, and Lisa singing vocals. And I knew we just nailed it. And the next day I played that back, and it was horrible. It was horrible. And that was the first time I realized that the drugs and the alcohol, it was so right on the night before.
Right.
And you know how people would come in and sit around the wall and just listen to us play, and they're all just, of course, they was just as high as we
Right.
were.
Right.
And I listened to that. It did something to me.
Yeah.
I listened to that, and because if we can't get the right sound, if we can't get that, then we're kidding ourselves.
Right.
And we put a lot of work in this, and I realized then that the drugs were a big problem.
Yeah.
And so then me and Alberta got into our little divorce thing, and then boom, I get saved.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I get saved, and I'm thinking, okay, I got to tell the band, because the next time we practice, we're still playing, the Midnight Madness and Maybe Now and all the stuff that we wrote. And I'm getting sick in my stomach, and it's the music's making me sick.
Yeah.
And Alberta's in the other room, and I walk in there to go to the bathroom, and she says, "Philip, the music's making me sick." I said, "The same thing's happening to me. I got to do something." That's when I called you and Alvin out the next day and said, "Hey,
That's
I got-
something. Yeah.
I got saved and born again, and I can't do this no more." And Alvin looks at me and says, "Well, you reckon Jesus do that for me?" He got born again, a week later or something.
Yeah.
You?
Well, I got had a few years to look back at that now, and it's like, man, what's such a beautiful thing, and I couldn't see it.
Yeah.
I couldn't see it. I wasn't ready to go that way.
But the one thing you said, Adam, I remember it. You said, does this mean that we can't play music anymore together?
Yeah.
I said, no, but it's going to be a different kind of music. Well, Alvin went on his way.
Yeah.
And so I'm starting to write Christian music.
Mm-hmm.
And you're hearing Christian lyrics, Christian lyrics, Christian lyrics, Christian lyrics, right? And it gets all the way down to we sell the farm and blah blah blah. We record over there in Steve's garage. Remember that?
That's right.
And we would practice from time to time, and then finally we're in the Alpha House, and we only got a few minutes left here in this session. We're going to have another session, but
Let me make a quick comment.
sure.
We talked about not having a purpose. When you called me from the islands, that kind of sparked me back then, and for something, because you was just banging around through life up until that point. And then when you got saved, and I guess I did ask you that about, can we still play? And you said, yeah. So that was, I feel like, a purpose that I had, something that I grabbed a hold of.
Mhm.
Just saying,
Mhm.
at that point.
Well, you were gifted. You were gifted, and God knew that connection together, what would be formed out of that years later. And so you guys came down to the Alpha House, and I'm determined to get you saved, and Jenny, right? And Jenny's listening.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Jenny's
I believe so.
listening, and she's like, and you're over there squirming. And I'm thinking, hey, come on, man. You know me. You know this got to be real. Because how if anybody, you've seen me fighting, you've seen me passed out, you've seen me drugging, you've seen me hustling, you've seen it all, and you're not seeing any of that anymore. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? And I said to Jenny, you want to give your heart to the Lord? And she said yes, and you grabbed her. I've never seen you like this around me before. You grabbed her and said, Jenny, we're leaving.
Wow.
And you remember that?
I still remember. I remember that.
Mhm.
I could see me standing right there
Yes.
with you in Alberta.
Yes.
And you
Yes.
saying it to me.
Yes.
I'd forgot about that until you reminded me of it.
Yeah. And
But
so
I do remember that.
and you grabbed Jenny and left, and you stayed away from us for a
For a
while
while.
until I invited you to church.
Is that right?
Yeah, and you
Mhm.
came to church to hear me play guitar,
Okay. I remember
and
that.
then you slowly started creeping back in. Well, then Alberta and I go on the mission field and so on and so forth, and then start the church, and our paths got separated. And so, I was driving down the road one day, and I'm frustrated because God gave me that vision of the band, and open vision. I can see it right now as I'm telling you, and by then I'd played in several praise and worship configurations, played with a lot of different musicians, so on and so forth. And we're driving down the road, and Alberta just looks at me and she says, Philip, if you could have anybody play in your band guitar, who would it be? I said, Adam. She said, Adam?
Adam.
He's a heathen.
Easy.
And I said, I'm just telling you, when me and Adam play together, he hears and he knows. And if he doesn't hear it, I'll show him. And then he takes it and he makes it what I'm hearing. And she said, Adam? I said, yes, Adam. And she says, well, it'll have to be God. And so, it really.
Yeah.
And we'll get into we got to get God in the Boggs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hallelujah, because it's a miracle that we're
Yeah.
sitting in the studio now, years later.
Yes.
I mean, years later. I mean, we got years under our belt now
That's
with
right.
all this.
Sure.
But there are people that are watching, that don't have purpose in their life.
Right.
They're just going to work, coming home. Do you believe in God? Yeah, he's out there somewheres, whatever. and just trudging through. Something you said a while ago when I called from the islands, and it sparked something in you about when I started talking about guitar, and you had purpose. Hey, okay, band, yeah, all right. Well, that what had happened was, and I didn't know it neither, is we were talking about destiny.
Right.
We were talking about something, and we couldn't explain it. We just thought, hey, I wanna be in a band.
Right.
Never would have thought of being a Christian band or anything like that. Those of you watching, you need purpose in your life? Get on that helpline at the bottom of the screen. Ministers standing by 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to pray with you and for you. And if you want to hear the music that we play now, you can go to rvnband.com and check out the band. There's a lot of good music there. You can hear Adam. He's the one frying on that guitar. And you don't want to miss tomorrow, because we got to get them saved. Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 4 says, where the word of the king is, there is power. Be a blessing.
The Power of Faith programs are available on YouTube 24/7, so you can watch from anywhere at any time. Search for Power of Faith on YouTube, or go to youtube.com/Power of Faith. Subscribe and click the bell to make sure you're notified whenever new episodes are posted. If you missed the episode, or you just want to go back and watch it over and over again, the Power of Faith YouTube channel is there for you.